On this episode of Pimp My Setup, we're going to be talking about your setups you submitted for tips, tricks, feedback, and much more. So if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact because the show starts
now.
A lot of enthusiasm. I really like it. It was a good one.
Now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Pimp My Setup, episode number 26, recorded live on March 5th, 2015. My name is Matt Philly. You can check me out on Twitter at Matt Philly.
And this is Josh from Fractal Design. You can check me out at Fractal Josh on Twitter.
There we go. So we are going to talk about setups because that's kind of what the show is about. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure, because Sergeant Ballistic brought it up on Twitter, are you going to dock points for people that don't have Fractal products?
Why beat the downtrodden, man? No, I'm one love, man. It's cool. I understand that people have their preferences, and hey, one product's not right for everybody, so I get it.
All right, cool.
But a lot of them look pretty stealth today, so we'll see.
Ooh, all right. So let's break it down with the first setup. Now I'm gonna have trouble reading again because that's kind of how I do. But let's see. This is from McKenzie, and according to McKenzie, the rig on the right with all the vinyls is worth like $20,000. So you should probably sell that, and you could really upgrade the setup. Was that mean? Was that too far?
No. I mean, the way to frame this too is like, obviously, it wasn't like someone snuck into their house, took this picture, and sent it without their knowing, right? Yeah. So you offer yourself up for criticism when you do this. Yeah. This one looks like, honestly, like 10 square miles of Amazon rainforest were slashed and burned. I mean, you got the wood paneling, the wood desk. You got some dual monitor action going on, which is good.
Yeah.
Wire management could definitely use some work. I mean, it's trip worthy down below.
Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on like that kind of furniture though? Like, in all honesty, mixed in with the walls especially, do you think that's like overkill?
I don't know if it's overkill or camouflage. It's like I can't even see the desk; it blends in. But I think everybody of a certain age has had a desk like that. I know, like back in college, I had like the corner nook pressed particle board desk, and I mean, I was waiting to see like the whole tower. Nook that they used to have in them where you'd slide your computer in there and then it couldn't breathe. It's old school. I was gonna say I'm gonna give them some throwback Thursday points. You got the wood desk, the wood paneling, you got the CD stomper. I mean, I had one of those, so
keyword had.
Yeah, exactly. That might be mine. I don't know. Let me look.
I think that overall though, it's just weird because he has an iMac, and then all of a sudden it's like everything else just looks old school, Yeah,
it looks very utilitarian. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. So. I think really all I could offer, because I don't think your cable management would be terrible if you had a different desk. So I would say get a new desk. Although I know you probably love all the shelves because you got like all your cleaning products and things like perfectly hidden away. Just get a new desk. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that'd be the first start. I mean, obviously you've got quite a bit of storage, like you said there. So overall, like I said, it looks very usable. So I think that's why I gave it like a usability rating, pretty high because it's like, hey, it's functional. Yeah,
which matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter really how it looks, but when you submit it to a show like this, that's kind of what we care about. And
now the other thing is, by that water bottle, is that one of those flexible roll-up keyboards?
By the water bottle.
On the right. I think it is. I think I see some keys on there. So,
what are your thoughts on those?
I don't know. It's kind of odd. It's like it's in use, rolled up on the side of the desk. Maybe that's how well those things work. I don't know.
Yeah, I had one of those, and it was cool for about 5 minutes, and then I never used it again.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to quickly apologize because there are a lot of snowblowers. Can you even hear the snowblower?
I can.
Okay, yeah, it is annoying, but I have no choice because it's snowing. Fun fact of the day. Yeah, so now let's take it. I'm sorry, that wasn't, there's not much to say about that last setup, but, other setups, we'll go a little more in depth. Like this one submitted by Thomas. Thomas is 15, which is, that's pretty surprising. I mean, it's a nice setup. It's definitely unique. Because we don't really see a lot of people that play instruments. We don't really have too many creative people. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So taking a look at this, what are your initial thoughts?
So yeah, this one again, it looks really usable. I mean, he's got a decent chair. You put it in one spot. You can do your keyboard work if that's what you got to do. Then you swivel left, and you've got your PS3 and your PC there. So, desk is fairly standard. I mean, it's clean, a little bit more minimalistic. So obviously, hey, I'm gonna like it, right? But yeah, I think overall it's got a vibe going to it. I don't know if it'd be my vibe though.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I always get crap from people for even bringing up a trash can, but that trash can, I'm not a fan of it. Is that me nitpicking a little too much?
You go either way, right? It's better than a bunch of freaking empty monster cans laying all over the floor and junk like that. But
that's true.
Yeah. I guess my thing is if you're going to take the picture and you don't want to have Matt jump down your throat like he usually does, pick up the papers, pick up stuff, just scoot it out of the way, throw it out of frame, and you're good. Camouflage that stuff. It's like you're showing your house, trying to get someone to buy it. Hide all the nasty stuff in the closet.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand though. You're submitting this knowing what I'm going to do, yet you still do those key things that I'm going to talk about,
Yeah, they're trolling you, man. That's what they're doing.
That's probably what it is. Come on, Thomas, really? But I like that, one side of the desk is one setup and the other side is a completely different setup. You could stand and use the laptop, and then you could also, play some sick music on the piano or whatever piano players do. Penis.
What? You can multitask and do both, I do like the fact that it's two very distinct workstations. It's so you can split between the two. It would have been nice to see an actual headphone hanger. Especially since it looks like music is a pretty key part of what Thomas does. But at least he's got it up and out of the way. It's on the monitor. It's not going to get snagged by his chair when he stands up.
Hey, I see what you did there. It's a key part of his setup. Music. Yeah.
See.
I saw it. You probably didn't realize.
Stealthy, man. That's how I do.
Yeah, but overall, I like how everything kind of comes together. It's not crazy, and I think that's what a lot of people will understand with this setup. Is it's a nice overall setup with not a lot going on, and that's kind of key. Simplicity is key. Have some things up on the wall, put a little personality into it, and I mean there's a little too much going on the right side. I would think, to the left of the laptop.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Yeah, it's got definitely some activity there.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, the left side of the desk is pretty clean. I agree with the headphones, stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, do you really... Oh, well, the cables, too. Your cable management is pretty damn good for an open desk. But when you have that strand coming down, there are so many things you could do to make it one even nice pile of cables, but you just let it be like that. Come on.
Just run along the side, zip tie down the back of the leg or something like that, or, Velcro, something like that. I know you like Velcro.
I like Velcro. Or even just Scotch tape. If you really want to just ghetto rig it, make it happen. Do it. Don't let it look like that. But now let's go into the next one. This one's going to be interesting because it's submitted by Aaron, and he's from Australia. I don't know if that's going to play a factor into this. He is 15. Mm-hmm. And he went on the whole thing again. If you guys want to be able to read the descriptions that they send me, go to pimpmysetup.com/Q. But taking a look here, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, to be fair, it's pretty limited space, right?
Yeah,
I mean, trying to do a lot with a little. I mean, that looks like if you look at the bed that you can see in frame, there's maybe 3 to 4 feet on the side of the bed, so there's not much room there.
True.
The cable management's good, except for the AC unit, but hey, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. So the cable management's pretty solid. The only cable I really see is for the headphones, which looks like that's just so he can tuck them out of the way, you know. It looks like he's ready for war. He's got that knife over there on the left-hand side, so when a huntsman spider or something like that comes out, at least he can defend himself. To me, it strikes me, I don't know what you think. Does it look to you like it's a dual user setup? I mean, there's the two chairs there. You get a separate keyboard and mouse on the right-hand side. So I wonder if that dual monitor setup is really two separate systems normally.
Yeah, I don't understand that, though, because, wouldn't he want a screen at the other setup or something like that? Maybe even, maybe it's a laptop. Maybe. Yeah,
there you go. It could be that. So, yeah, it looks... it looks pretty decent for the amount of space that he has. I would say, though, next time you might want to take the dinner plate out of the shot before you take the picture. It's all good, but
yeah.
Again, I would say toss some personality in there. It almost kind of looks like a prison cell. It's very, very bland. There's no posters, nothing. But hey, maybe that's their style.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your style, I don't like your style because it definitely looks so bland. It just needs some color. I mean, literally draw something on a piece of paper and tack it to the wall. That will look better than what it is right now. And yeah, definitely clean up.
Well, and honestly, the chair's probably like the biggest part of personality right there.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost like, hey, I bought the chair, now I need to work on the rest of my setup. It's like when we see like one of those car mods, it's like I bought the wheels, I work on the body kit next week.
Yeah, it's like going reverse. It makes no sense. But I think with this setup, speaking about the chair, I mean that right there shows you have blue in that chair. Make blue your color. Put blue all over the place. You know, if you're gonna keep your drink in the shot, at least have a blue container. You know, think about it. There's theme. It's
all about the color coordination. That's how you got to do it, man.
That's what you have to do. But I mean, it's confusing. The cable management is good. It's just a confusing setup. And I'm sure if I read a little more into it, he probably would have explained it, but I don't know how to read that well, as you know.
You got to sound it out.
Yeah, so I don't want to take up too much time on the show for that. But we're going to go on to the next setup. And this one, if I could get it to load, would be great. I mean, I have it up on the screen, but the description is not... Oh, there we go. All right, so let's see. Michael does not give us his age, but I'm going to make the assumption that he likes the Cowboys.
Well, you know, there's your CSI skills in practice right there. Yeah. You know, so right off the bat, I mean, it's very clean, you know, and if anybody knows anything about our company, our color is basically white and black. It's Scandinavian minimalistic. So obviously this appeals to me in that regard. Looks like he's got a pretty nice chair. You know, honestly looks pretty comfortable, pretty styling.
It's almost the same one I have right now.
Then I don't like that chair. It does, though. It almost looks like he's more like a collector, like trying to show off every gadget he's got. Yeah. You know, it's like it's more like a display than like a usable scenario, I would say. Mm-hmm. And then let's see here. Looking at the rest of it, like usability for me is... It's there and it's not, because honestly, it looks like the keyboard and mouse are like right on top of those two monitors. Like you'd be sitting there swiveling your head back and forth like Stevie Wonder, switching between the two, because you only got like a 6-inch throw distance. Yeah. And then with the laptop to the left, it looks like you could use it, but it probably would not be the most comfortable way to use it. Like you'd probably want to move it if you're doing any extensive time on it, which normally I wouldn't say would be an issue, but he's got the stand for it, so that makes me think that probably does spend a decent amount of time there.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the hutch? You know, as far as not even just this setup, but hutches in general.
Definitely a personal choice. You know, probably depends on what you're doing. Personally, I don't care for them that much. I mean, to me, they're kind of big and bulky, and they take over the area that you're in. And you know, I think way back in the day, back when I was a kid, you know, it's like everything was printed, right? And you had tons of paper. And now it's like, man, I don't really need a bunch of manuals and stuff laying around. So yeah. But again, if it's a bedroom, you know, maybe it replaces another piece of furniture.
True. It's funny because even though I just changed my desk, that's actually my old desk. And I'm happy I didn't get the hutch, because the hutch is like so small. I don't even think you could fit anything past like a 23-inch display, which is, I mean, that's small. Yeah. I wouldn't like it personally, but I don't know that those displays... Maybe it does fit bigger displays. Maybe it's a new hutch. I don't know, because that's a cinema display, right? I think so.
Yeah, it looks that way.
So I'm sure it's a decent sized display, nonetheless. But I'm sure if he wanted to, he couldn't really house them under the hutch. So overall, I think that the desk is nice, but it doesn't leave a lot of room for expansion. And I like that you at least you kind of had all the furniture match. You got the whole set, which is nice. What are your thoughts on like fake plants, or even if that's a real little plant? What are your thoughts on stuff like that in a setup?
Yeah, I guess to me, as long as it's like well kept, right? If it's fake, as long as it's not dusty and cobwebs hanging off of it. And if it's real, as long as it's not dying, wilting, or overgrown, you're fine. Honestly, to me, in this sense, I think it breaks up a little bit of the whiteness on the wall, you know, right behind it. But he's got enough stuff there, I think he could do without it. But yeah, that's just me. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as theme, wouldn't you agree he kind of knocked it out of the park? Yeah, I think it's very cohesive, if nothing else. You know, I mean, he's definitely got the color palette down. Looks like he's got some LED lighting back there. From what I can tell by the tablet, looks like it's the RGB LED where you can change the colors. It looks like that's the remote that's over there. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty solid setup. Looks like I said, pretty usable. I mean, it looks, not knowing the size of the room, like it takes up a decent amount of the room, so it weights the room pretty heavily. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and I think overall he put some time into it. It's just there's a lot going on top of the hutch, all over the place, like you were saying. So I would definitely tone it down with all the little accessories. I don't even know half of the things you have on display. And I see from the looks of it, it's a Blue Lounge cable box underneath. That's always a good idea. It's always nice to do that. And I think you would probably benefit from like a Signum or something like that to kind of keep that maintained. But overall, you have so much going on, you don't really realize that you have, cables underneath.
Yeah, I think the eyes kind of pulled away from that area because you got so much else going on.
Yeah, so overall, awesome setup, just, kind of a lot, but that's up to you. If you like that, you do you. But now this next setup is submitted by Jay. Let's play a little game here. How old do you think Jay is?
Let's see here. I'm gonna guess 19. I'm just gonna go random.
19. Okay, he's 14 years old.
See, really? Okay, because my guess for that was the Game Boy, and my whole thing here is like it's basically this whole setup's the cult of Mac, right?
Yeah.
You got the app tile coaster, you got Steve Jobs like leering at you over top of his MacBook, but he's got a little bit of Austin Evans inspiration there by putting the Game Boy inside like the shadow box frame.
Yeah, so it's okay. You were way off.
I'm fine. I'm cool.
He's from the UK also, and he said he's going to get some LEDs, and that's really all he said. So
I'm guessing they're going to be white.
Probably, because why have color when you're into Apple and stuff? You gotta be simple. So taking a look at it, do you think? Because I'm honestly kind of confused with the layout. It's very confusing. What are your thoughts on the layout?
Yeah, the layout to me looks a little more display than usability. Sure. It's more kind of like, look at the Apple stuff I got. I assume that he slides the MacBook forward when he wants to use it. The monitor's kind of off to a weird angle for like a straight-on desk that's in the corner. You think you'd be kind of kinking yourself to the side to use it. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty clean. Obviously, it looks like you're in a Mac store. You got the white chair, you got the very basic desk, but it looks more like a product showcase to me.
You see, okay, so you're lucky that there's not a lot of like Apple fanboys in here because they would probably kill you for saying Mac store. I just kind of want to put that out there.
Oh, maybe I did that on purpose.
Oh, okay. But I totally agree. Like as far as there's not a lot of usability. There's more, hey, check out everything I could afford at the age of 14. Like, it's a little too much. And I mean, if that's what you're into, awesome. But it kind of looks like it's staged a little too much.
Honestly, I think the Steve Jobs book puts it over the top a little bit. It's kind of like, man, okay, maybe the guy was good, maybe the guy's bad. I wouldn't want him leering at me the entire time I'm working and be like, dude, quit looking at me. What the hell?
Yeah.
Question B, I wonder if he's read the book.
Well, okay, so I just did it on the stream. I just looked in my background because I do have the book on display in my room, but it's not directly in front of me or behind my monitor creeping on me. But I feel like that's sort of a thing. Like no one actually read the biography. They just kind of buy it and put it on display. So I'm in the same page as him. But I think overall, like theme, he actually did good for theme because there's a lot of personality in it, which we don't really see. I mean, just from looking at the previous ones, there's not a lot of personality in setups, which, I mean, that's key. You should have you in a setup.
It's your space. And I think, the thing is, if he is that big into Apple, then, good for him. Be unapologetic, man. If you like something, like it, go all the way. And if you like Apple products that much, I mean, he's doing a good job of showing that off.
I mean, overall, he brought it together with what he likes, because it's not all just Apple. I mean, we're kind of just joking around here. He has Game Boys. He has a lot of different things that come together. And I'm sure if he was to zoom back, we would see more. Like there's a penny board at the top right. It's all personality, so I give him points for that. But now let's check out Ben's setup. Ben is this is his college setup, which is, he said he's constantly traveling. He has to reset it up, so he kind of condensed it down so that it's minimal. But taking a look at this, would you think that this is a minimal setup?
Okay, so my thoughts on this are we went from Austin Evans being channeled in the last one to MKBHD being channeled in this one. He's got the wallpaper, he's got MKBHD monitor, riser stand, shelf thing. I don't know if I think it's compact or minimalistic. I mean, it's like shoved in a corner. But hey, if you're a college student, you do not have a ton of room. So. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's making a good use of the space that's available. I wonder if that tablet normally sits there, though, or if that's just kind of on display. I mean, because it seems like you're kind of keyboard centered in between the two monitors, or the monitor and the laptop. Mm-hmm. But usability, I assume, I don't know from what I can tell, he's just porting out from the laptop directly to the monitor, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like you think you want the keyboard a little bit to the left for usability, so you're not craning your neck so much. But
true. Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on his do-it-yourself cable management bucket?
I guess if it's hidden, it's hidden. And if he says he has to travel, and he can just unplug everything, and it's right there in the bucket. You take it out to the car and go to the next place.
I guess. I think it's pretty interesting though the way this whole setup comes together. It's like, for a college setup, he has everything. Obviously, he has everything in the corner. He has no other choice. But I just like he has the headphones, on display. Yeah. Everything seems pretty clean for the most part. And I'm sure you don't really care that much if you have to pick it up tomorrow and go. So I give him kudos for what he has been able to do with the setup. But the wall behind it is so funky. It's not me.
Yeah, if there's anything, I guess it ties into his desktop wallpaper, his laptop wallpaper, right? I mean, it's got kind of the same color pattern, the red, the white, the gray. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of odd. But again, hey, if he's a college student, he might not have control over that. That might be a pre-painted thing. But, you could always cover it up if you don't like it.
Yeah, which is what I would do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's see. Because there's not much more to say about that. This next one, though, I'm sure there's going to be a lot to say. It's submitted by Jimmy. And let's see here. He's 24. And let's see, he wrote a lot, so I'm trying to find something, useful. He said he has a 2-year-old son, or just 2-year-old. I don't know if it's a girl or boy. So he said keeping the setup tidy is a bit of a pain. So I guess we'll take that into effect. So taking a look here, what are your thoughts?
Okay, personality-wise, it's awesome. I mean, you can tell he's into music, obviously, between the amp, the guitars, the mixers that he's got and stuff like that. First thing I keyed in on was the LG Ultra-Wide, liking that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd all like to have 1 or 2 or 3 of those. I personally would go for the 34-inch, but yeah. I think it fits well with this setup. Obviously he's got the headphones secured on the wall. That looks solid. He's got the guitars on display, but, if he uses them, it looks like they're still within easy reach.
Yeah.
So I think he does a really good job of showing that off. And honestly, for the amount of cables that he must have with all that crap that he's got, I mean, it's wired tight. I mean, I think he did a great job wiring it.
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely easy with the amount of stuff he has because it covers a lot of things up. But for underneath the display, you can see a little bit of management, and you can see, wow, you don't realize the amount of cables that he has. Like you said, he probably has a lot. Yeah. So kudos there. And I love the headphones on display. Looks awesome. And I love how he has 2 kind of apparent themes. He has the musician side of him, and then he has the comics. It's so cool how that kind of combines together. Now, I wanted to ask you a question about it. What are your thoughts on the boxes underneath?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that, the box wall thing, which I can't really say much, but my thoughts are this: generally, if you don't have a need for them, get rid of them. I guess unless you're using it for ambiance, if you're Linus or the guys like that are doing the box wall behind them, I mean, just chuck it away in a closet somewhere because you're probably not going to open that thing again for ever, basically. But I mean, at least they're relevant. They're well fitting. It's not a bunch of brown cardboard hanging out, half-ripped open containers. His system's pretty well stuck in the side of the right hand side there. You can't see it very well, but what you can see is what you'd want to see inside the window. So I think he did a good job there. Yeah.
So I think, like you were saying, it comes together. I personally am not, the biggest fan of the boxes, but I'm going to make the assumption that is hiding a bulk of his wires, possibly. So
good point. It's camouflage.
Yeah, if that's how you do it, just do it. But I like that he's got the blackout curtains. I like how there's the black furniture, the black amps, the black speakers, everything comes together very, very nicely. The guitars, they look really awesome on the wall. I don't know. It's kind of hard to think about what I don't like. I mean, the chair, maybe if I'm nitpicking here, get a new chair.
Yeah. If I were nitpicking, looking for something to pick on, I'd say, maybe get a new chair, because it looks like he's probably someone who spends a lot of time at his PC, because it's not just instruments. It's like he's got mixing equipment. He's got studio monitors on isolation mounts. Yeah. So, and I assume with him, if he's doing like music editing or something like that, having an ultra wide is awesome, because your timeline's just going to be huge.
Oh, it's so awesome.
So it looks like, for somebody that spends a lot of time there, it'd be a good investment to get maybe a higher end chair that's going to be more supportive and look better, fit the theme. And especially with the black theme, it's going to be really easy to find something that you like, comfort wise and style wise.
Yeah, and the final picture for his setup is it all lit up, and it looks pretty badass. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. I saw that because I was looking through them, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I actually went back and upped his score a little bit that I gave him when I saw that, because I saw it. I'm like, okay, pulls it in really cohesive. Even though you have, I guess, what you call mismatching lights on the left-hand side, they make sense, right, with the theme. It doesn't look like an afterthought. It looks intentional. Yeah,
so I think overall, altogether, pretty awesome setup, but not everyone will be a fan of it, because not everyone is into lanterns and into music. So I think that's what I like about it. It's a lot of personality, so keep doing you. And then let's wrap it up with this setup submitted by Coyo, if that's how you say it. Coyo says, say hi to the co-host for me. So hi.
Hey Coyo, what's up?
All right, so let's play another fun game with this one. How old do you think Coyo is?
Oh, jeez. Let's see here. I'm going to lowball this time. 13.
14.
There we go. Okay, so everybody that submits is either 14 or 24.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it works. So this setup, now I definitely want to get your thoughts on this. What do you think overall right off the bat?
Well, you asked about the Corsair case in the corner?
Yeah.
No, it works. Now, if Coyo wanted to continue the theme of the refrigerator, they could use our Note 804. Everyone says it looks like a small fridge anyway, so you just have that whole vertical fridge plane going there.
Yeah. Wow. Always working. Always doing your job, huh?
Always working. Now, the thing is, honestly, again, not much space. As you can tell, the desk is butted up to the bed, and then you just have perfect room for that fridge there. It's probably holding 47 cans of Monster or Red Bull. But, honestly, I think it's a good use of the space that's available. It's pretty clutter-free. If you look at, there's not a lot of extraneous junk in there. Mm-hmm. It's like keyboard, mouse, monitor, router, and system. And it's like, and for some reason, a mag light by the bed on the left-hand side, which I don't want to know. Just don't want to know. But I think it's a pretty clean setup. Maybe get a little more personality on the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, well, you see the kitty on the wall, and it's like, why is there not another picture of a kitty next to it? You know what I mean? It's like, I thought there was a theme going, because there's like, well, actually, oh yeah, those are Pokemon all over the place, but then there's a kitty at the top. I don't know. Maybe a Pokemon poster would be nice. See?
There you go.
I'm just coming up with great ideas.
The bottle of Windex is at the ready right there. I mean, if you see it on the bed, it's just ready to go in case there's a smudge on that desk. The OCD comes out, and he's got to hit that right away. I mean, it's all good. Plus, I think, it looks kind of cluttery on the bottom, right?
Yeah, that's where I kind of deducted points.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, if you're standing up, walking into the room, you're probably not going to see that. If you're sitting down, you're not going to see it. And maybe there's no other place, but I'd chuck that stuff under the bed to the left, then it's definitely out of view.
Yeah. And I think that my main complaint would be the grandma desk, because I'm not a big fan. My grandma likes it, but I don't like it. And if that's what you're into, I mean, well, actually, you're 14, so I don't know. Maybe that's, you're just stuck with that desk. That would be my first, upgrade, I guess. And what you could do is you could actually get like an IKEA tabletop with the legs, so there's no bottom, and actually put the mini fridge under the desk, so you have even more room. You have that whole wall rather than the mini fridge kind of taking up a big portion, but I think anyone with a mini fridge deserves like an extra point or two. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at all that cabling's hid, right? I'm guessing the wall outlet's behind the fridge because I don't see wires going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, except for the headphone.
Yeah, which, I mean, what can you do, honestly? So
yeah, exactly.
Overall, Coyo, awesome name, awesome setup, especially for the space that you have, making it work. But now is the fun part of the show where we have to break people's hearts and give out the scores. So going through, McKenzie finished with a 46. Thomas finished with a 65. Aaron finished with a 47. Michael finished with a 73. Jay finished with a 77. Ben finished with a 55. Jimmy finished with a 77. And Coyo finished with a 73. So that means we had like almost a 4-way tie. We had 2 people tie at 77 and 2 people tie at 73. And I just want to let you know, you definitely made some people mad with letting Jay win the episode along with Jimmy, because you let an Apple fanboy win, and you know.
Oh, I let him?
Yeah.
Did you vote? Did you vote?
Yeah, but our scores added up. Actually, let me see something here.
So I should have disagreed with you.
Wait. Oh my God, look at this. You gave Jay a 39. I gave Jay a 38. You are the reason. Mm-hmm. So how does it make you, do you want to defend yourself in any way?
Oh, just because I'm better at math than you? No, you know, like we said, honestly, you know, all things aside, PC Master Race, you know, console peasants, stuff like that. If we're looking at the actual setup, I think you walk into that setup and you know that person's personality, right? You know what they like comes through. So yeah, I think they deserve it. Yeah. Personally, I wouldn't choose that, but if you look at it, I mean, look at some of the ones that we got here. We got like Coyo at 73, who has basically everything shoved into the corner, and then the other 73 that we got is Michael with like the Cowboys in all black. And those are 2 very different setups. Yep. A total different amount of tech on them, but it's about how you use the space and how you make it look. So
yeah. So that's really, you could have, you know, the worst products ever, but if you make that setup come together, you're going to win. And that's just how it works. So I know, you know, like you said, all joking aside, it's the setups that matter, not what you have in them. So that is all. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey man, anytime. I enjoyed it.
All right, so with that said, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the Flippity Flop.
Thanks for watching this episode of Pimp My Setup. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow at Pimp My Setup on Twitter for the latest info about the show. And check out swashin.tv/schedule to know when we'll be live again. Stay up to date with Matt Philly by following him on Twitter at Matt Philly. And until next time, we'll catch you on the Flippity Flop.